want to look at this a bit, or nudge you to look at this a bit from a complex self-organizing system standpoint, right? Because I mean, envisioning a utopia or a quasi-utopia, I know you don't have a pure perfectionist delusion about this, but envisioning a better way of organizing society has always been easier than bringing them about and getting traction. And clearly, we both know enough of complex systems to know that to get traction for something like this, it's got to be a self-organizing sort of increasing returns phenomenon where it starts a little bit, then the success of the initial few intrinsically leads to it to grow more and more until it's like taking over society like a bacterial colony.
Exactly.
Right? So, but
R greater than one is the meta strategy, right?
Yeah, but what are some of the particulars by which you see this self-organizing growth possibly happening with Game B?
Let's talk about that. A very key concept is that if Game B is to be successful, it must be able to actively parasitize Game A. That means it must be able to sell goods and services back into Game A at good margins and good profits while operating in a truly Game B fashion, so that we can essentially bring Game A resources in from A to B and then convert them into B. So, for instance, let's suppose we had a Game B ad agency, one of the crazier ideas floating around that's operating spread across multiple proto Bs, and it's quite profitable. And we're using the profits to grow other Game B businesses to build more profits and to seed new proto Bs. Each one takes a fair bit of capital. And so as these things get both more economical at knowing how to build them, but then even more importantly, knowing how to build businesses that can actively parasitize Game A, we can suck resources from A to B. And then, of course, if a lot of those resources are used to make them B bigger, then just recursively, you have two things growing exponentially. And that's a key part of the strategy. So it's very important that B not think of itself as a hippie commune that's looking for autarky. We think of it rather as a membrane with protocol, semi-permeable membrane with protocols that's actively engaged in a strategy of extracting wealth from A and repatriating it to B.
Then the nature of that boundary between A and B, the design of that membrane becomes quite important.
Very important. We spend a lot of time thinking about that. And for instance, at some point when we get enough scale, we're likely to have our own currency inside of B, and we'll have a bank that exchanges B currency for A currency based on a dynamic equilibrium to keep the osmotic pressure across the membrane correct, right?